5 students will recite the Old English story called The War of the Roses about how Queen Margaret's love for her child changed the heart of a robber and saved her son from war.
One day in England, long ago, when the roses were in bloom, two noblemen started arguing in the temple gardens by the side of the river Thames. In the middle of that argument, one of them plucked a white rose on the bush and turned to those who were near him, saying, "Anyone who thinks I'm right, let him pluck a white rose with me and wear it in his hat."
Then the other gentleman tore a red rose from another bush and said, "Anyone who thinks I'm right, let him pluck a red rose and wear it with me."
Now this argument led into a great civil war which was called the War of the Roses.
For every soldier wore a white or red rose in his helmet to show which side he belonged. The leaders of the Red Rose sided with King Henry VI and his wife, Queen Margaret, who were fighting for the English throne.
Many great battles were fought and wicked deeds were done in those dreadful times.
In a battle at a place called Hexham, the king's army was beaten, and Queen Margaret and her little son, the Prince of Wales, had to flee for their lives.
They had not gone far before they met a band of robbers who stopped the queen and stole all her jewels.
Holding a drawn sword to her throat, one robber threatened to kill her child and her. The poor queen, overcome fear for her son, fell upon her knees and begged them to spare her young boy.
But the robbers, turning from her, began to fight with each other about how they should divide the plunder.
Drawing their weapons, they attacked one another and became quite distracted.
When the queen saw what was happening, she sprung to her feet and taking the prince by the hand, ran quickly to escape.
There was a thick forest close by, and the queen herself ran into it. However, she was very afraid and trembled for the safety of her child, for she knew that this forest was the hiding place for robbers and thieves. Every tree seemed to jump out at her, threatening to kill her and the little prince.
On and on, she went through the dark forest, seeking for some place of shelter, but not knowing where she was going.
At last, she saw by the lights of the moon a tall, fresh-looking man step out from behind a tree.
He came directly toward her with his sword drawn, and she knew by his clothes that he was an outlaw.
She considered that he might have children of his own, so she decided to throw herself and her son upon his mercy.
When he came near with his sword glimmering in the moonlight, she spoke to her in a clear and confident voice.
"Friend," she said, "I'm the queen. Kill me if you want to, but I beg you to spare my son, the thieves."
If you kill me, my only request is that you take my son and raise him. Keep him safe from those who want to kill him, and God will forgive you for all bad things you've done.
The words of the queen moved the heart of the outlaw, and he lowered his sword. Instead of robbing and killing them, he chose a different plan of action.
He lifted the little prince in his arms and, telling the queen to follow, led the way to a cave in the rocks. There, he gave them food and shelter and kept them safe for 2 days until the queen's soldiers, discovering their hiding place, came and rescued the queen and prince.
If you ever go to Hexham Forest in England, you may see this robber cave.
It is on the bank of a stream that flows at the foot of a hill, and people call it Queen Margaret's Cave. To this day, people still speak of Queen Margaret, whose love for her child changed the heart of a robber and saved her son from harm.
That was a lovely performance from